Any minute now. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I forgot to enable it. That was my stupid fault. Ew, ads. Okay, now it's working. Here, let's just turn it down a bit. Cool, cool. That's another thing I'm working on right now. I'm working on another video. Great. Alrighty, here we go. Welcome to the stream, you guys. Welcome to the reaction stream, where we react to funny videos.
1949.
Funny videos, serious videos,
Power Co-op is born.
videos that make you cringe.
Powered.
Cool, awesome. There we go. I'm still holding onto the steering wheel.
Struggle to complain with anything.
I can't hear it, but I might as well put on subtitles.
But now they're just something else entirely, and everyone's sick of them. The software you
I hate Adobe ever since they started charging me more, and it literally took it took so much to get out of it. But I recently got out of it like years ago. I used Adobe for school and whatnot, and then just basically started using it for my own advantages, such as content creating. And then a friend of mine was like, "Yeah, you got to get rid of Adobe, man. They're charging you way too much. It's like literally they charge you like $90 for the whole setup. Remember back in the day, you can just get Photoshop, and now it's like a whole thing.
used to buy once and own forever, you now rent by month.
Dude, yeah, I went for like the $24.99. Well, I went for the whole package. All I wanted was this. This is all I wanted: Photoshop, and then I got Premiere Pro, which Premiere Pro is a lot better than DaVinci Resolve. DaVinci Resolve, I find there's some glitches. Like it freezes, but it still does the job.
At a price that climbs every year.
Like it climbed so much, like $10 more per month. I mean, it's.
We lost the tools we could trust and own, and in exchange we got rising subscriptions, mandatory AI nobody asked for, and a fee for
I don't really mind the AI. Like some of the AI stuff that I do enjoy is like when you could just type in a prompt and it just generates something. I use a lot of AI in my content creating.
the privilege of leaving. But Adobe is
It's just like it's the lazy version of graphic design, because you're working on a video and then you're too tired after work, and so you're like, you know what, I already did the editing, I don't want to like just do the thumbnail, right? So you do the thumbnail and nobody likes it. Everybody likes the AI version better. And yeah, I can admit that I use AI.
finally getting what they deserve, caught in a death spiral where all of their greed and cynical corporate strategy are catching up with them.
Yeah, it's ran by a really, really evil company, evil Indian man, who just charges you out the ass. Just so expensive.
And even then, their CEO still claims it's never been better.
Adobe. I actually like. I always show my friends their stocks and how much they are falling. They're rising and falling and rising and falling, and it's just crazy.
I believe that there's
I'm getting into crypto, so I need to learn this stuff about stocks and money and all that stuff.
going to be more opportunity for creative
I can't hear it. Hold up.
companies than ever before. We are an extremely profitable company and we're growing this
No, you're like rising and falling and rising and falling.
year, double digits.
And somehow, he's exactly right. Their figures are shooting through the roof. It's actually been their best year ever. A record 20.
That true? Yeah. Yeah, Adobe, they're doing better than NVIDIA. Yeah, it's pretty. $219.72 is what they're worth right now. So there's some suckers that are buying it.
$3.8 billion in revenue. So then why have their stocks crashed magnificently by around 65% from their
65% in 5 years. I wouldn't buy Adobe.
peak, which goes against the entire tech market boom
I mean, I don't really know much about the stuff, so we're just reacting to it, but like...
right now. Even with
Yeah.
record profits, the market hates them. Well,
But it's something I used, you know, so why not react to it? I used it before. I used it for 3-4 years until I quit. Ooh, ads. Nice. Just what I wanted.
this is because there's something much stranger going on with the
Ran by an evil man.
company that redefined creativity for a generation. It's all just the endpoint of a process they've been
I really, really did like Illustrator. Illustrator was one of my favorite tools to use in graphic design. I really enjoyed it. Something I learned. I learned
orchestrating
a lot.
deliberately for years. You see, Adobe used to be one of those companies whose products had
I mean, Adobe was cool. Adobe does a lot more than anything else, like even GIMP. But it's behind a paywall.
everyone creating tutorials on how to do cool things in Photoshop, Illustrator, or After Effects. But now, you'll just find hundreds of tutorials on how to cancel those subscriptions.
Yep. Even my tutorial. Go onto my
It looks
Twitch
easy,
or go onto my Kick or my TikTok and I'll show you how to cancel it.
but it isn't. That's why these videos exist. Here's how the trap worked. When you signed up, Adobe steered you towards a plan called
I still can't believe we're talking about this. This is what, it's been a year or two since I canceled 2019. 20 versus like maybe no 2023. Yeah.
annual paid monthly. It was pre-selected for you.
No,
and
I think it was like 2024 I quit.
it looked like a simple month-to-month deal, except it wasn't. What you'd agreed to was a year-long contract, and if you tried to leave before that year was up, Adobe charged you an
Yeah, they definitely will charge you if you leave. It's like a gym membership. It's like it's like Gold's gym. You try to leave and they basically just go after you and you have to go into your bank and get them to get it all fixed and basically get a new bank account.
early termination fee, worth half of everything you had left to pay, on a basic plan that was a surprise bill of hundreds of dollars,
Oof.
just for the crime
Oh man, I went broke so many times because of fucking Adobe.
of wanting to stop. And the best part? That fee was hidden in fine print, tucked behind tiny icons
Adobe
you had to
sucks,
hover over
man.
to even know it existed. Then there was the cancellation itself. You didn't just click a button.
Like
you got funneled through page
I
after
just wanted Photoshop and Illustrator. I said I would have just paid for those two, but no, it's a whole package.
page of menus, discounts, and prompts.
Like I'd say, yeah, I pay the $19. I don't mind. I'm using it.
Every step was built to wear you down until you just gave up and kept on paying. The kind of thing the industry politely calls a dark pattern, meaning a user interface designed to trick you into doing things. If you look on those how to cancel Adobe tutorials, you'll find thousands of comments from those who aren't able to, maybe
sucks.
because of an error or a missing button. It got so
Unable to load data, don't have a managed plan, don't hence cancel. Useless.
horrendous
Yeah.
that in 2024 the government sued Adobe. The Department of
Yeah,
Justice
I remember seeing that. The government did sue Adobe. I think they also sued another company too.
and the FTC
But
accused
Adobe-
them of
yeah,
trapping
Adobe
customers
sucked.
with hidden fees and a deliberately
Actually, no, Adobe was good. It just went down a really, really dark path.
painful cancellation process, and they named 2 executives personally. So
David Wahana and Mansour Salwini.
Adobe finally paid up. a $150 million settlement, all while denying any wrongdoing. But the other story is that users...
I want my money back. Oh yeah, I think I did get my money back. Yeah, I did get my money back when I canceled.
had something to cancel in the first place, and why? Until this, Adobe had honored one simple
rule. Their customer service is shit. Well, I wouldn't say it's shit.
You bought the software and it was yours. The full Creative Suite wasn't cheap, but you owned it.
Let's see. Yeah. If buying isn't owning, then piracy isn't stealing. Yep.
You could use it for a decade, and you only paid again when a new version was truly worth it. Then in 2013, Adobe killed that rule. It announced that Creative Suite 6 would be the last version anyone could ever buy outright. From now on, you didn't own Photoshop, you rented it every month forever, and the day you stopped paying was the day you lost the tool as your career.
I do like their cutout. I do like their cutout. It's way better than, say, GIMP. GIMP had a really, or Bungie had a really nice setup behind a paywall, especially the AI one.
Rare was built on. They gave it a...
I did not like the 3D effect. I had to do 3D in... It wasn't Adobe Photoshop. It wasn't Adobe Photoshop. It was basically
a warm, weightless name.
This is actually kind of crazy. This is your brain on normal music, jumping between tasks, losing momentum, and constantly
as if it were a gift. Behold the Creative Cloud. Overnight, a customer who paid once every few years became one who paid every single month. And once your life's work lived inside Adobe's files and formats, leaving meant incinerating all of it. The payoff was obscene. In its last year selling box software, Adobe made around $4 billion. A decade later, it pulls in over $23 billion a year. And most people badly underestimate how much more they hand over by renting it. The old master collection cost around $2,600, but you paid once and it was yours. The full Creative Cloud suite today costs up to $70 a month, a little over $840 a year.
Which one did I have? See, oh man, like when I was starting to code, they wanted me to use Dreamweaver and all this, just all added up. I basically I didn't use AI assistants. I just used Dreamweaver, Illustrator, Photoshop, and Premiere Pro. That's about it. That's all I used. I didn't use anything else.
Suite today costs up to $70 a month, a little over $840 a year, which means every 3 years of renting now costs you what the entire box suite used to cost to own outright. So a designer who's now paid every month since Creative Cloud landed in 2013 has actually handed Adobe well over $8,000, or take a 40-year career. Even on
all the money I wasted during college, during graphic design, just for AI to take over.
On the kindest possible assumption that Adobe would never raise prices again, even though this is something they've never once managed, the full suite at around $840 a year comes to over $33,000 in rent before you retire. But Adobe does raise the price, so you're probably
I was paying a $675 rent with a pet fee, and I was still paying for Adobe. I didn't really want to get out of it because I liked Adobe. Adobe was fun. Adobe was entertaining. I liked using Adobe, but just the amount of work, the amount of money that I put in it, it's just, yeah.
It wasn't. At $60,000, ranging up to a grand total of $100,000 for one subscription. $100,000 just to do your job.
It had a bit, like, Premiere Pro had a better setup than DaVinci Resolve. It was fast. Well, maybe not too fast. I mean, there were times it did crash. but it was fast, but it was like really, really hard on my PC. Like when I was doing the 3D stuff, I needed to update the RAM because it was just freezing, crashing, and I had to get this 3D project done. And I'm just like, I just want to get through this. I just want to get through this, please. Like my computer was just screaming.
$1,000 you could spend on a holiday or food or buying a house or raising a family. That single move became the most copied decision in modern business. Every executive in tech watched Adobe swap ownership for rent and get rich, then did the same to their own customers one industry at a time. Now we're just used to it, but just remind yourself.
I never paid for Microsoft.
It used to be like this. You don't own your...
The only thing for Microsoft I pay for is Xbox Live, and that's about it. And then my guitar stuff, and that's about it too. Yeah, so. Yeah. That's all I pay for.
Your music anymore. You rent it from Spotify. You don't own the films you buy on a streaming service.
I don't think I did the student plan.
You rent it from Spotify. You don't own the films you buy on a streaming service. Amazon once reached into people's Kindles and deleted books they'd already paid for. And the book it deleted of all things was 1984. Your car insurance monitors your every move so it can price you correctly. Home ownership is at an all-time low. The list just goes on and on and on. The majority of people now have 5 to 8 subscriptions, as slowly all ownership is ground into dust. The subscription world you live in now, where almost nothing is truly yours, was
this was possibly done by Adobe. Maybe all this graphic stuff. This was possibly done by Adobe.
You might have heard of techno-feudalism.
Another fucking ad.
That the remarkable happens when East meets West. Come alive in our shared.
You asked for more ways to create, so we made a major update.
I ask for less ads, please.
The Greek economist Yanis Varoufakis' idea that the biggest tech companies own the land while everyone else works on it and pays for the privilege. Most people never even notice the arrangement they're living under. That's the world Yanis says we've drifted into.
Is to create enclosures in which we are like sheep enclosed within them and extract rent from us. The West slavery is one that you volunteer to.
And obviously your techno-feudal lords don't have your best interests at heart.
Do not fall into the trap of thinking that there is, a good techno-feudal lord.
Yanis isn't the only one noticing this and shouting it into the void. Slovenian philosopher Slavoj Žižek has been making the same argument, and two of them agreed fully on what's happening.
The key of this new corporative capitalism, digital and so on, is that it's a new form of the privatization of commons. The very space in which even capitalists and workers and so on exchange stuff is controlled by them. That's the feudal.
That's not my microphone. That's his voice. Like it's got a lot of phlegm in it. So he's like, sounds like he's hissing. That's not me. That's him.
And there's a more specific name for a company that behaves like this by
Xbox Game Pass ain't that bad. Prime ain't that bad. Disney Plus I want to get rid of. Ubisoft I need that. Yeah, Netflix. You can get a TV for Netflix.
Colonizing aspects of our
that will actually have Netflix on it.
Digital lives and then using it as a method of control. The big tech critic and political economist Brett Christophers calls it a rentier. The idea is that sometimes businesses earn their money by actually doing something. They make a product, they sell it, and they have to win you over all over again every time. A rentier doesn't
just be quiet and consume more product.
Work like that. You're not really a customer in that arrangement, you're a tenant, and if we're being honest,
you're paying rent.
You can take it from the World Economic Forum itself. On one of their own stages, two economists ironically laid out the exact racket.
The biggest topic here at Davos and the biggest topic around the world, and that is inequality. And in particular, we're going to be talking about
just be quiet and consume more product.
Rentier capitalism is about the existence of a system in which the return to private property rights exceeds the return.
Want a return on your investment? Don't buy it. Just buy it. Just get the cheaper stuff.
Very short supply or inelastic supply. And
just get the
where you
cheaper
have
stuff.
property rights on that.
And the way you keep that supply scarce is simple. You make sure no rival is ever allowed to compete, thus making products a necessity like needing somewhere to live.
Those 5 platform corporations have bought up over 500 other corporations. So as soon as they become potentially competitive, they buy it up. These are powerful robber barons of the...
I'm just in it for the reaction.
All of
I
that
don't
set
really
on a
know
stage
the
at the one event
logistics
on the
of all this
calendar
stuff.
most likely to be full of them. And let's not forget, these are the ones who invented that 2030 prediction for what they
You will
considered
own nothing
a
and be
utopia.
happy.
Adobe is exactly what the rentier and techno-feudal
I mean, especially
models predict.
like including all the video games that we own, like GTA 6. Once we download it, and if it goes away, then you don't own it anymore. Whatever happened to owning games? Owning stuff that, like, I have bought many. Well, I didn't buy many computer stuff. I'm not really familiar with a lot of computer stuff.
Your customers can walk away, you have to keep the product well maintained. Quality sells, but when you rent a product because you need to, you don't get the joy and pleasure
My
of ownership,
ADHD is
and
going
the product
playing
quality and
with
features
nothing.
become an afterthought. But a company doesn't get this brazen by accident. It's a calculated, decades-long strategy. And so to understand how Adobe ended up treating their own customers like hostages, you have to go back to how they got this powerful in the first place. Like Microsoft...
You want to be treated like a hostage? Start working at Gold's Gym. Yeah, I will never go back to Gold's Gym ever. Fit for less is for me, or anything else that matter. Da, 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 da. Da, da, da. Gold's Gym is for me.
Microsoft, Google, and the others, Adobe built its empire on a monopoly. It was one of the great digital empires to emerge from the dot-com era, and like the other tech titans, it got there through a mix of true genius and ruthless deal-making. It started in 1982, when two engineers, John Warnock and Charles Geschke, left a company called Xerox and founded Adobe, named after the creek that ran behind Warnock's house. Their first product was PostScript, the invisible language that tells a printer exactly how to draw a page. Apple built it into the LaserWriter, and for the first time, anyone with a computer and a printer could produce professional quality documents. So that was the start of Adobe's good.
You say you can't remember your childhood?
Ads, man.
Let me tell you something important. You
Fucking
can't
ads.
remember most of your childhood. The entire year is just gone. But you remember a smell, the sound of footsteps, the way a door closed, no faces, no voices, just fragments your body won't let go.
What else should we watch after this?
Among consumers and the tech industry.
How many people
then
like
came something
the
just about
streaming
everyone in the world
or
knows,
the
the humble
edits?
PDF. It worked so well that it became the default format of the entire planet. By the mid-2000s, Adobe believed that up to 1 billion computers were running it. And then came the crown jewel in the Adobe empire, Photoshop. Adobe didn't even invent it. Two brothers, Thomas and John Knoll, did. Adobe simply bought the license in 1988.
They're just called
and
two
turned it
brothers.
into the default tool for every photographer, designer, and artist alive. Photoshop, which Adobe again did not even make, became so dominant that its own name turned into...
I didn't even know Adobe didn't make it. That is so interesting.
a verb.
That
To
Adobe didn't
Photoshop
make it.
something is just what you call editing images now.
I love working with the stuff, the curves, like the lighting. That's what I miss. GIMP has something like DaVinci Resolve for like videos and stuff has something like that. GIMP has something, but this is just where it's at. You need something like this. Is what GIMP needs to put in.
But like any empire, Adobe wasn't entirely built on good faith. They made sure you'd never have an alternative. Whenever a strong competitor stepped into the light, Adobe either bought it or buried it. The clearest
About
example was a
CorelDRAW?
program called Freehand. In 1994, Adobe bought the company that sold it, being the main rival to Illustrator. The
Oh, I don't
FTC
know.
was pretty militant back then,
I was
and
too
forced
young.
Adobe to sell Freehand back and banned it from buying the product again for an entire decade. So Adobe simply waited like a predator stalking its prey. Freehand eventually landed with a company called Macromedia, and in 2005, 1 year after that ban expired, they bought them outright for $3.4 billion and shut Freehand down for good. Its last serious rival in illustration was simply erased from existence. That same deal also handed Adobe Flash and Dreamweaver, the tools the early internet was practically built on, extending its grip from design onto the web itself. If you remember the
I
internet,
hated Dreamweaver. Like, I'm not a coder. I didn't understand coding. I liked it, but I hated Dreamweaver. Like, it was just coding in college was terrible. There wasn't enough time to even get a project done with coding. So, yeah, that was like during graphic design school. That wasn't my favorite. Everything else was fine.
games you'd play on a browser in the CD and floppy disk era, that was all Adobe Flash. One by one, the rivals vanished and Adobe became the standard.
Flash ended this year. Was he this year or last year? I can't remember. It was possibly this year. Flash ended this year? When did Flash end? December 31st, 2020. Yeah.
It was taught
like there wasn't a lot of games that you could play with Flash if you wanted to play. Does anybody remember the I'm a millennial, so I remember this. Coffee Time. It's a website with games and stuff. You can play Blizzard, you can play shooting games, sports games. It's just a bunch of Flash games. Yeah, they basically built that. So that's where I found Coffee Time and stuff. That's was all Flash.
In every school and demanded on every job listing. You've used Adobe's tools because of what they did back then. That's the whole game.
I only used the 4: Dreamweaver, Photoshop, Illustrator, and Premiere Pro. That's about it.
Giants did it in their own ways. Then, once they transitioned to a subscription model, like your landlord charging higher and higher rents, Adobe started cranking the handle. Year after year, the cost jumps upward. Adobe took its flagship plan, the $59.99 a month Creative Cloud that included nearly everything.
I used Premiere Pro. I never used Lightroom. I never used Adobe X. Oh, InDesign. InDesign was so much fun. I loved InDesign. I loved Illustrator. InDesign was my go-to thing. I made a lot of things in there that I would. After Effects, never used it. Spark, never used. Well, I don't think I used it. Lightroom, never used. Photoshop, used. Illustrator, used. InDesign, loved it. It was like we had to build a magazine, and InDesign was there to help me. I just fell in love with it. Like it corrects your grammar. It corrects the positions of the paragraph. It corrected pretty much every. It was an annoying program, but I loved it. It was amazing. It made it showed you how to build these graphs, how to build the margins, like the photo margins, where to put the words and everything. It was just. Wow, I loved it. It was just amazing, an amazing product. until it cost $60.
thing and started trying to move people onto pricier new tiers and raising some plans by as much as 50%. The photography plan that cost $9.99 per month increased to $14.99. Their justification, though, made it even worse. They'd stuffed their apps full of the AI called Firefly, and now everyone would pay for them. A massively upvoted Reddit post described it as Adobe's AI tax. Then, if you made it through the dark pattern and demoted to the standard plan to save money, Adobe...
But I had to quit. I had to quit it because it was too much money. There was too much money. It was making me broke.
Cut your monthly AI credits from 1,000 to 25, a 97.5% reduction. Pay more.
Like I was always broke when I was using Adobe. I was like, oh shit, I can't. And I was like, why not? You can't go to dinner? Yeah, why? Because I'm paying for Adobe. Fuck. I need it for school. And then I just stuck with it afterwards.
You never asked for or pay less for a crippled version of the software you
ads. Samurai Girl. High School of the Dead.
You already had. Then there's the enshittification of the software itself. Just like the scrappy new built houses in your neighborhood, the clothes you wear, and the other things that you love, the big 2025 releases of Photoshop fell well short of the line. Premiere Pro was especially a buggy mess. But this isn't the end of Adobe's...
I loved Premiere Pro. I don't think it was that much of a buggy mess. I think there were some issues with like I now know how, like, thanks to Premiere Pro, I know how to upload a video properly instead of just pressing export. And then there you go. But like Premiere Pro, I've learned so much. I've done a lot of edits. My edits are getting better. Maybe not as good as this. But since, like, I edit, like, video games and video game videos and videos like this, it's really taught me a lot on filmmaking.
Galling story. Now comes its incredibly satisfying reckoning. Because in 2024, they went one step too far and put users' work on the table. A mandatory update to its terms granted...
Oh gosh, the terms of service was crap. Including the statement that Adobe may access your content through both automated and manual. Yeah, not a lot of people like that. And actually nobody liked that. I don't want them looking at my stuff. I mean, like, okay, fine, yeah, you can look at my stuff, but I will delete it later. Like, there's nothing bad in there,
the company permission to access your content through both automated systems and human review. The reaction was seismic. A single post...
It was so gross. I'm reading this right. I'm using Photoshop unless I'm okay with having a full access to anything I create with it, including NDA, non-disclosure. Non-disclosure assignment.
Breaking down the new terms has 12 million views to date, and Adobe went back on its word saying it wouldn't now use personal work to train AI. Creators remained up in arms for months.
Last week, Adobe updated their Creative Cloud terms of service, and boy, did it not go well. They changed the terms of service of their stock photo service by rolling out Firefly retroactively to make it okay for them to use that content in their training
Adobe went to hell.
Is gone, and you can't just get it back.
Truth be told, it didn't affect Adobe much immediately because they owned the land. But like every...
Yeah, they own your content. They own your content, man.
Every single empire on this planet that has fallen, the cracks began to form. It started with a strong new challenger in Figma. Adobe reached for the usual tactic and agreed to buy it for $20 billion in 2022.
I think I tried Figma. I tried Figma for like a day, and I just really, and I was like, you know what, fuck that shit. I'm going back to Adobe.
One of the biggest software takeovers ever attempted. The CEO then went on CNBC to make the case that there was nothing here to worry about.
And I don't see any overlap. I don't see anything that would make it so that the myriad competitors would be disenfranchised if you merged. don't you have to say, look, the market is so big that this would not hurt it?
He gave that question a buzzword-stuffed answer.
What we are seeing is really this confluence of creativity and productivity. And when you think about it like that, it's like every tech company, whether you have a platform and it's companies like Microsoft or Google or Apple or Meta, every surface that exists, whether that's a web browser, whether that's a mobile device, whether that's a desktop, we want to take the ability for what Figma has done with respect to creative, collaborative software on the web, combine that with what Adobe has done in our creative and make it even more accessible for others.
But it wasn't to be. This time, Adobe failed.
So that deal was scrapped as regulators. They raised concerns about it eliminating competition, removing Figma as a threat to Adobe.
Regulators in the US, UK, and EU lined up to block it. The deal then collapsed at the end of 2023, and Adobe had to hand Figma $1 billion for nothing at all. Figma actually used...
Imagine breaking up with your girlfriend and then you owe her a fee. Yo, what's up? Welcome to the stream, man. Boney Blues, welcome. I just saw you. Thank you for joining. How are you? I just turned in and then I saw you. Imagine breaking up with your girlfriend. What was I saying? Yeah, imagine breaking up with your girlfriend and you owe her a fee afterwards. Breakup fee. Yeah, they charge you a fee if you break up with Adobe.
Adobe had to hand Figma $1 billion for nothing at all.
$1 billion.
Figma actually used that money to help itself go public. It was like when Rome marched into Germania, lost 3 entire legions in the trees, and then just gave up conquering it for good. The second blow was Canva, who bought Affinity.
I tried Canva for a day.
Which is like Photoshop and...
yeah, it's not that great.
Made it free. More than 1 million people signed up in under a week.
I still have Canva. I used Canva for a bit. I used oh, what was it called? For like drawing and stuff. What is it? What is it called, man? Hold up. Canva. Not Hako AI, Vroid Studio. Clip Studio. Clip Studio Paint. That's good. That's okay. Clip Studio Paint, yeah.
Blackmagic's DaVinci Resolve had already done the same thing to Premiere on the video side. But the third blow
Bonnie Blues open hole. Some of the things you guys can create. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Would be bigger than Adobe. Think about what Adobe really does. They make difficult things like editing images or making movies possible, but not easy. And to their credits, before they started ill-treating their users, they supported genuine creativity. But now, generative AI has started to drain that skill scarcity away. When you can
we don't need you anymore
with the click of a button.
Because we got AI. I haven't really fully worked with AI. I've been mostly just making AI thumbnails, and that's about it. I haven't made those AI videos, you know, with the stories of the banana and a cherry falling in love and all that stuff, and also Will Smith eating spaghetti. I haven't worked with any of that.
Software that makes hard stuff easier but still requires skill to operate is just a dying.
I haven't even used AI for 3D printing. I just been doing it for like editing thumbnails. That's about it.
Microsoft, Nvidia, Google, and Meta didn't have that issue because they didn't depend on the creative industries that Adobe does.
Oh my gosh, more ads. More ads, man, more ads.
And with some poetic justice, Adobe's own AI pretty much started killing Adobe's own business. Firefly lets people generate images from Adobe stock images instead of buying them, and they can be really
Firefly.
expensive, so customers did exactly that. They started cannibalizing themselves by joining the AI race and being one of the only companies not to make money out of it. By plugging their AI like mad, they effectively contributed to their own redundancy. And that's exactly what the market is.
I like that. That was a, like, they added AI, and it was really cool. If I had the money, I would go back to Adobe. If I can afford it. But if Canva can do the same, if Canva, what you're showing me is Canva can do the same thing, I will go back to it. I will use it.
Worked out. Adobe shares had peaked near $700 at the end of 2021, but by the spring of 2026, they had fallen roughly 65% from that high, trading near $200. It's down this year, it's down over the last 5 years, and even some big asset managers who used to
stop charging us and we'll come back.
Support it have now abandoned
or lower the price.
Ship. Adobe posted record revenue of $23.8 billion in 2025, but the stock was being walked to the gallows anyway because no one sees its future. And finally, even if Adobe survives all of this, it may have already lost the one thing it could always count on. Its tools have become so expensive, so bloated, so openly contemptuous of the people using them, that these people are actually just starting to leave altogether. Now, for years, this was unthinkable. There was nowhere to go. Now, there's everywhere. And here's the part that should scare every company watching their downfall. When Microsoft and Meta hit trouble, AI was their bailout. Whether it's a bubble or not, AI has been like a magnet for money and tech. For Adobe, AI is the opposite. It's the angry guy kicking the door in. There is no AI bailout coming this time.
Here's Johnny.
AI is the one holding the axe. So while they're bigger today than at any point in their history,
that movie scared the shit out of me. I was watching that movie with an ex, and I just, well, with my ex-girlfriend, and yeah, that movie scared the shit out of me.
Than it has been in decades.
I just was
and if
like,
it does go over, it'll teach every other company the same lesson. You can squeeze your customers as hard as you like.
Yeah, look at Look at Nintendo. Look at I want to say Microsoft, but I'm still loyal to them. Trying to think of another company that squeezes the money out of you. Oh yeah, Destiny. Yeah, Destiny. Call of Duty. No. Yeah, I want to see Destiny, sure, but I still buy their DLCs.
You can let the product rot, hike the price, rent people back the things they used to own. Whether you're selling software or streaming or printers or cars or chocolate bars, you can get away with all of it for years. But the moment real competition comes back and there's no AI bailout to save you, you can lose everything. But Adobe is in the minority, and when you look around you, the same thing is happening everywhere.
Yeah. Bungie. Beer.
Stop playing alone. Make every game a shared experience.
Oh my gosh, too many
Taco
ads.
AI.
What is this? Ozzy's funeral. No. I'm not going to watch that. All right, what else should we watch? Should we see what happened to McJuggernuggets tonight?